Hello, welcome to this Space program video. Today we're going to be building a folding micro station, I guess, technically, because we're not going to be using any piece bigger than a Mark 1, except maybe that thing. But obviously, so the first thing we've got to do is obviously add the hinge, because the idea behind folding stations, obviously, it requires less space to carry. Even if it is the same weight, you can fit it into a smaller fairing, which makes it easier to lift. So we're just building the science module, adding all the stuff that we might need to read things like, just in case an earthquake happens in space, we'll add an accelerometer there. This one, definitely the easiest one to do, just quick and easy. Now we're going to be adding batteries, battery array, the communications. No, sorry, not the communications, the solar panels. There we go, that's right. And obviously after this, we just have to do, the next one is going to be refueling. So this could technically be used as a stopping point for ships that need to get a bit further than maybe they're capable of doing when starting from Kerbin's surface. So I don't know why I added that arm, I just thought it looked decent. Just changing the extension speeds of the different hinges, which remember that for later. I think we're doing so this will be used to connect to other ships that may be deploying passengers or whatever, changing crew onto the space station. It allows you to dock with other ships without the Kerbals having to swim through a fuel tank or outer space. I think next we're having a bit of a living quarters along with some service bays, just for a few extra batteries, a bit of monopropellant I think goes in here eventually, and some RTGs that we don't have to rely completely on solar panels. I think then I add some extra stuff to the front, because obviously, as you can tell from the fact that is actually docked to the central station, that could be released. So I know if something goes wrong, they could separate from the station, and they could flow around, and then they could be, because they obviously have another port there, they could always just be evacuated by a different ship. So then some solar panels onto that. I think that's the station pretty much completed. I think we make one or two small changes. For the ship, I completely over-engineered this thing. It's huge, so much extra, more delta V than I needed. It was just a bit ridiculous, but I also didn't strap the payload in properly, so it was a bit wobbly, and that combined with the fact that the ship is incredibly powerful led to a few minor issues, which you won't be seeing later because I cut it because I was too embarrassed. But I mean, this is just the module to get it into finalize the orbit. So we added a remote control unit so that we can deorbit it when possible. Obviously, if we just cut to the finish, as you can see, I did strap 6 of the biggest solid rocket boosters in the game to it. And I think now, as you can see here, it did start wobbling, so we are going to cut to the end and avoid looking at my horrendous orbit. It was awful. It went up to like a couple million kilometers. Not kilometers. Yeah, it was just we were like 10 million meters out or whatever. It was not good. Obviously now the station is in orbit and we can unfold it, and as you can tell, that is the one I forgot to change the rotation speed, so I was stressing a bit at that point. I was like, oh god, please don't break. But luckily everything was fine. It's quite a small station, so nothing breaks. It's not really it's not very likely to be hit by the Kraken or anything, unlike some of the other things I've built in the past. Stupid things. So we're just going to extend all the solar panels. I probably should have assigned hotkeys for all of this stuff, but I don't know, I just like doing it manually. I'm quite happy with the station itself, even if the launch was pretty horrendous. It's got everything you need. It's got a bit of fuel just in case you want to dock with it. It's got all the scientific stuff. It's got solar panels, RTGs, plenty of batteries, plenty of communications antenna, plenty of space for Kerbals, even though we do just have Jebediah at the moment. But I mean, that's alright. He's used to it. But I mean, it's gone pretty well actually. As you can tell, just finished setting it up, and I mean, it will never run out of power. It's got way too much power. I mean, it won't even need one of those big solar panels at any point. But it's got quite a nice look to it. Quite happy with that. I like the orange fuel tanks. It really makes them stand out. Shows that they've got a different purpose. So thank you for watching. Subscribe.